Yeah, it's been about
Okay.
6 7 years.
Yeah, you're like bouncing in and out and everything. So
Um,
there you go, right there. Let's say something.
yeah,
No,
yeah,
it was when your hand was right on it that it actually sounded good.
it's just,
Here, let's say something.
yeah,
No.
yeah, something.
Okay, so the audio is on, or the video's up and sounding good on D Live. Video's up and sounding good on YouTube. And now we'll go into uh, Odyssey. See how that bad boy's going. Into it sounds good. Gotta hit refresh on. There we go. See what it sounds like. Gotta hit refresh. Sounds good on Rumble. We're good and go. Everything's up and going. So, yeah, there you go. I can hear your voice there. It's a little bit lower than usual, but I can hear it. Just sit still. I'm gonna start saying to you like I say to Austin, sit still and don't move. Just stand there like a statue. Yeah, there you go. That'll do it. Austin's even worse, dude. Like he gets all excited and starts moving around and shit with his phone, and all of a sudden his voice is going. It's fucking insane. So yeah, we got that all set up. Now I actually did find some information and stuff out. I posted it on the links in chat concerning Adobe. And I went in and I verified all that stuff too. That make sure that I got it right about all the stuff that happened with Odyssey. So I'm gonna say that in the recording. First off, before we get into this kind of leads. This kind of leads into what we've been talking about in chat, believe it or not, with this whole thing with Adobe and with freaking copyright, open source and everything. Seems
everything's open source, it must be more secure because it's open source. I don't like that argument.
right. And see, that's why I wish your microphone was in better condition. Because first of all, I invited Angel to come on here over his his ideas. He's got these crazy ideas when it comes to copyright infringement. He doesn't seem to understand what they really are. Me and Dave Kelso has been talking to him about it. And
is there any better?
Yeah, that's better. It's a lot better.
Yeah, use them both mics.
Yeah, that's a better idea.
Just don't like wearing earbuds in this ear because my ear channel is slightly narrower and it's takes a little bit of pressure.
Yeah.
Makes me
That's why you need to get those big ones like the ones I got. Like, you know what I mean? Just get the ones that fit around the top of your ear. Don't be. Yeah. I know.
No.
You're like, it's not the 70s anymore.
Yeah, exactly. What should I do? Carry a big boombox on there?
Well, if you remember, the earphones were out before the boombox, so it was like the boombox was the freaking cool shit. Like,
actually, I'm probably a bit too young because I was born in '76.
Well,
this was just when the boombox craze came in.
Yeah.
Like 76, 77,
Well, I mean, I had both the headphones and the boombox together too, but I'm just saying, like, I remember, like, as a little
Mm,
kid, I had headphones that were so big they sucked my eardrums right straight into them,
mm, mm,
you know.
mm,
And then you had the big thick cord that twisted and it went right up to the stereo.
mm.
Like, kids today don't even understand, dude. They have big headphones, but they didn't have them like we
And
had them.
I think it was extremely cheap thing wrong.
Uh huh. Well,
Mm,
ours were the freaking big bulky ones. Like they used to have those those funny videos where somebody was sitting on the bus and they had that huge phone. You
mm.
remember those?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The guy would get on
Mm,
the
it's just,
he'd get on the
yeah,
bus and just have this big phone and just talking into it, and the thing was like maybe 2 3 foot tall.
yeah. Mm. I have come across a couple 1980 to 84 mobile phones myself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, mm,
Oh,
mm,
well, they don't even make those those commercials anymore where they're trying to to push them. I remember they were out all the time.
mm.
Let's see, that's weird. My
Well,
the the damn thing went black on the freaking on the OBS, so I had to switch it to screen capture.
yeah, you keep having that problem.
Freaking Skype is a pain in the ass, and it's
Uh,
only if it's not the freaking audio, it's something like this, you know. Like I never
mm,
have this issue with freaking Jitsi or even Discord. It's just on Skype.
okay.
So
But I've decided once I get this new machine, once I've deployed it, I'm going to use this workstation. I'm using at the moment as a server. So as a web server and H-band server. So this machine's more than capable of doing, let's say, the monitoring work.
mm-hmm. So you're gonna use
So
that
yeah,
one. You're gonna use
yeah,
that one for the server.
yeah.
It's gonna be cool.
I'm going to swap the solid state disk out of the new machine with this one because this one's a lot nicer than the one that's already on the transfer suitable for that machine.
Mm-hmm.
So I shouldn't even need to do any new installation of the new machine. I should be able to swap the drive out, maybe do a little configuration on the single unit. So
Okay.
yes, I should have up and running within half an hour.
I really. Uh,
Oh,
we got. Okay, it's time to do the countdown. All right. 3, 2, 1. Now. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Tech Talk. I'm here with Mark Edworthy. Today, we are back again with a little bit more on Tech Talk. This is kind of well. Before we get started with what we're going to have with the actual conversation, I want to do a little bit of a catch up on the on the little bit of tech news, I guess you could call it. I don't know the best way of saying it, but I mean, for me, that's how I can say it. Now, I did go back to the official Odyssey community on Discord, Mark, and I found out that what they said. First, I was wrong. It wasn't Jiggy Tom that said it to me. It was Steve. He's another moderator there on the help and support area. And according to him, he said that Odyssey found a new tech provider to work with, and they're also some. They gave him some funding, and it's from the same company, but they didn't say specifically what that company's name was. So, with
Okay. Just to remind all of us, just go back to the listeners issue.
the what was it again?
Uh, what's the original
Uh,
level start?
Well, the originally what it was is somebody had gotten on to the help and support or in the Odyssey official Odyssey community on Discord, and they were talking about possibly selling Odyssey off at auction.
Right.
So it got kind of confusing. You didn't know for sure if it was Odyssey was being sold off for auction or if something else was going on. So finally, after a little while of them going quiet, they started getting active again on the Discord community. So I asked them, did they actually sell off the Odyssey as a, you know, on
As a
auction?
as an entire package of branding, the entire company in fact.
Your mic's breaking up.
So the entire company in fact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, the I went on there and I asked them if they did sell it, and they said no. They just actually they got found a new tech provider is all it was,
Okay.
and the same company gave them some funding to help out with with it. I also found out too that their streaming is actually their own. Uh, it's their own tech. It doesn't have anything to do with another source. So
Okay.
I thought that was pretty interesting. So
Do you know what the streaming facility, what license
no,
the streaming
no,
facility?
I've been actually looking for information on that. I haven't been able to find out what it actually is. It'd be cool to know. So
Mm, mm,
um, and after that, the second thing I wanted to bring up was Adobe. Now, before I bring this up, I want to say that I first heard of it off of Naroki Five's stream that he does on Skype. So I just wanted to do a shout out to him on that one because it was a good topic. So I wanted to bring it up to you and see what you think about it. Because this is relatively something that we have discussed in chat on Mind's chat and stuff like that. So there's been big news coming up with Adobe here lately, and it concerns their AI and their what they're wanting to do in the terms of service. So with that, I'm going to read an article to you that I found that relates to it. And it says Adobe's new terms of service aren't the problem; it's the trust. Okay. Now, this is the reaction from Adobe's customers to small update highlights the growing lack of faith surrounding big tech companies and their AI tools. A recent notification from Adobe about a term of service update caused outrage online once many people forced to accept the new terms for continuing access to its apps and services interpreted it to mean Adobe was permitting itself free reign to access and use their work to train AI models. Specifically, the notification said Adobe had clarified that we may access your content through both automated and manual methods within its TOS, directing users to a section that says techniques such as machine learning may be used to analyze content to improve services, software, and user experiences. The update went viral after Creative took Adobe's vague language to mean that it would use their work to train Firefly, the company's generative AI model, or access sensitive projects that might be under NDA. Adobe has now published a blog to address those concerns and assure its users that this isn't the case. Our commitment to our customers have not changed, Adobe said in its statement, affirming that the company doesn't train Firefly on custom content or assume ownership of a customer's work. Firefly generative AI models are trained on a dataset of licensed content such as Adobe stock and public domain content, which copyright has expired. A before and after comparison of the TOS update, which you can see below, it shows below here, but it shows that very little about the policy has actually changed. The inclusion of machine learning, particularly while vague, isn't new and has been present in the TOS for years. One explanation for this is that variations of AI technology that predate Firefly have been used in tools like Photoshop Content Aware Fill and Lightroom's Select Subject. Confusing, however, the update language within the TOS has actually been live since February, with Adobe having only recently notified users of the change. Adobe's chief product officer, Scott Belsky, acknowledged on X that the wording within the notification is unclear and said the company's legal team was working to address concerns about the vague language within the policy. Adobe has had something like this in TOS for over a decade, said Belsky, but trust the transparency couldn't be more crucial these days. Adobe has developed something of an image problem as it's grown over the years, especially among individual creatives who no longer feel the company has their best interests at heart. It has been criticized for dropping its one-time purchase model in favor of recurring subscriptions and accused of creating a monopoly over a creative software industry, which concerns regulators enough to effectively force a company to abandon its attempt to acquire Figma last year. While similar software is available for other brands like Affinity, Adobe is typically considered the industry standard and difficult to avoid using professional environments. Notably, Adobe has also developed a mountain of generative AI tools and services since introducing its own Firefly model in March 2023, enthusiastically promoting them as a means for people with limited creative experience to quickly produce content at scale. I imagine that sounds very attractive to businesses, but not so much to creative professionals who are anxious about their job security. It's easy to see why so many feel betrayed by the company, especially when Adobe seemingly struggles to enforce the generative AI policies it introduced to protect them. That breakdown of trust brings us here. While this viral drama surrounding Adobe TOS update may blow over, hordes of creatives are watching the company like a hawk. Adobe will have to find an effective way to address those trust issues if it wants independent creators who have come to expect the worst from the company to see it as a friend it claims to be a rather foe, or to be rather than a foe. Now that I got off of there concerning what the issue is there, but then, like for me, I think that is more of a smoke screen, just blowing smoke up our butts, because when you go on to Investors Business Daily, they break it down and say Adobe stock toppled Friday after the digital media and market software firm predicted weaker than expected sales for the current quarter. Investors are wondering when Adobe will see a boost from its innovations in generative artificial intelligence. The news pulls down other enterprise software stocks as well. Industry peers falling on Friday, including HubSpot, which Hubs is already off the internet. They've discontinued it. Then Microsoft MSFT, Salesforce CRM, and ServiceNow, which is now. At least 15 Wall Street analysts cut their price targets on Adobe stocks after the company releases its quarterly results and guidance late Thursday. Adobe beat Adobe beat Wall Street's targets for its fiscal first quarter ended March the 1st, but offered a lackluster outlook. It predicted adjusted earnings of $4.38 a share, in line with estimates on sales of $5.28 billion, just shy of views for 5.31 billion. Okay, 5.28 billion, just shy of views of 5.31 billion for its fiscal second quarter. So even though they're talking about it being like freaking just a mess up, you know what I'm saying? It's showing in the stock markets. I really think that the AI idea that they came up with backfired on them, and now they're paying the price. You know what I mean?
It wasn't just artificial intelligence. The terms of service said machine or a manual review.
Yeah.
Review. I looked at it on good night. We had a long conversation with Mr. Roberts in Germany, when Texan, and they was on the night. It looks at the original explanation that Adobe provided after the terms of service was released and there was for the issue, was extremely good. The sort of press release reply was, but I haven't reviewed this yet. It seems like they were actually, or they are immediately sued by the US FTC, so Federal Trade Commission. Yes. We put it from 7 days ago, but the FTC is suing them.
Well, like with what I read there, and like kind of what you posted here about Adobe forces users to accept this stuff. You know what I mean? And that's kind of one thing that I've been saying about freaking Adobe, man, and they've openly admitted it in what I just read there too, where they have been doing this stuff. They said that they've been doing it for 10 years now. It's actually been a part of their freaking terms of service,
Yeah. Yeah.
where they have a right to go in and quote unquote learn, use it for learning how to make a better product and learning how to freaking make it user friendly and and it's just point blank what they're doing is they're stealing people's shit.
I saw a report a couple of days ago, and which suggests that the district wording in the terms of service has been announced since 2019.
And and see, vague terminology is common practice for people who are doing stuff that's underhanded. You know what I mean? You got to understand that. Like the only reason why they're even freaking okay with saying, "Yeah, we should have made it better now," is because they got caught. You know what I mean? It's kind of
But
like
vague terminology is used by all lawyers and all marketers everywhere.
so
That's
that
just to be correct.
so that they can be tricky and say, "Oh yeah, I'm sorry, the terminology must not have been specific enough. But that's what this is what that meant. Like
Actually, there is a piece of legislation, either in an EU legislation or UK specific legislation. I think it's EU, and that states that all contracts have to be written in a manner that is easy to understand.
hmm well,
Um,
mm,
in the US, there's no such legislation. Federally,
it 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 seems that people are. Oh, hold up, I should probably unblock my mute button. But what I was getting ready, what I was getting ready to say is, it seems that freaking it's okay to freaking write stuff in your terms of service that's vague and unclear. You know what I mean? And
And that's the question about them,
there's
because
Tan.
Hi there.
Hello, Tan.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can
Yes.
hear you. Now, Mark
Alright.
is kind of having issues with his audio, so kind of get used
yeah,
to it. He,
yeah,
Okay.
he's got that hippie hairdo, and it just keeps on getting in the way. So,
I'm just out and about. Sorry I couldn't make it back on time. Walking the dog.
that's fine. So,
Yeah.
so what's your take on this new stuff that's popping up about Adobe?
uh,
Oh, think that Mr. Robot shared.
Yeah,
yeah.
Ugh. Did you go through
It,
it? Did you have a look at that? Did you have a read at it on stream?
yeah, I read it out and everything. So, it's
Alright.
it's
Haven't.
it's been explained, and I don't know if you noticed, but I checked it out a little bit more, and I found out that apparently stocks in Adobe has fallen because of it too.
yeah, I don't know. That's why I stopped with this stuff.
They
Mm.
they did they they did a article on it where they came out and they tried to say that it was just the interpretation of the terms of service was vague.
Mhm.
And for me, it's like I told Mark, I think it's more of them covering their asses after they got caught.
Mm.
Sorry, guys. Catch me up on what they do. Give me a 15 minutes synopsis on what the Adobe thing is.
Well, what happened was is Adobe ended up changing their terms of services, which made it to where people who use their products have to accept these terms, and the terms say that they can go into their files and use their files to help the AI learn.
No,
Okay.
that's just the same.
And
Yeah. So even worse than Apple, right? No personal cloud thing.
yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wrote a look at it on mine's general section on the 9th, um, made comments in relation to NDAs and ownership.
Yeah. This
Um,
th- this I actually found all this out after Mr. Robot made his big statement. This came out with Naroki 5 when I was on his show, and he brought it up as a topic, and it was pretty interesting. So I figured I would bring it up to you guys and see what you
Yeah,
guys
okay.
thought about it. But apparently,
and,
they have to agree to these terms, or they can't use their
yeah,
product.
yeah, there was no
Yeah,
mechanism. It was either you
I can imagine the uproar. Hello, buddy.
and if
We're
you
at the
pay
dog
for it.
park.
But it goes back to the idea of you using a cloud service and using somebody else's set of machines for hosting, and you agree to the agreements.
Hmm.
Uh, all
So,
these
did they
things.
have any reaction yet, Adobe?
Oh yeah.
I believe it's being investigated. The FTC is now potentially suing.
He's, it's he or she.
He,
He's not vaccinated yet.
how do you know?
She's complete.
Not completely.
Oh, I see. So she got.
He's some.
Yeah. Well, the thing you said that the FCC is investigating right now. Is that what you said?
Yeah, the trade commission. Yeah,
Good. Because they
yeah, okay.
hopefully they'll come up with something where they can crack Adobe's ass, because this shit's been going on for quite a while. This is the kind of stuff that I've been talking to you about when it comes to Adobe. Like they're known for doing this stuff. It's even in their terms of service, and people have just been allowing this kind of stuff to go on, and it's they've been doing it for years. They said for the last
But
10 years in that one.
it's not only Adobe. The recent Microsoft scandal with the call function. Um, this call is some sort of internal thing that they were going to fix with the next patch for Windows 11, which I believe was now stopped. In which things like keylogin and being able Microsoft being able to see which documents you open when you look and see
Yeah,
is being included.
and that's the one thing that I have an issue with when it comes to Windows 11, because like I've told you guys before, I feel that autonomy is the most important thing when it comes to all this stuff. When I get on my computer, that's my computer. That doesn't need to frickin' be monitored and regulated by the frickin'
Ah,
internet.
that is of your computer.
Yes, it is.
You make files storage, you use cloud services,
I don't use
uh,
cloud services.
you use clients such as Skype, you use Rumble, you use social media platforms.
I use them, but they're not freaking something that you know what I mean. I don't freaking have like a cloud service network and shit like that. Like, you got to remember,
Yeah,
Tan's the cloud supporter. He's the one who likes the cloud.
yeah,
I'm autonomous.
but,
I don't
but you
like.
still upload files to, let's say, a social media platform.
Right. Well,
And therefore you're still agreeing to their terms of services to allow you to upload this files.
even that has its freaking, like, yeah, okay, you have to freaking cave into stuff like that. Okay, that's just common sense for navigating through the internet. Now, the reason why I like why I say autonomy when it comes to stuff like Skype and like Discord
Mm.
is and this is what the advantage is with Skype and Discord over even Minds, okay? Minds is a social freaking network. That means freaking all of this information that I put on freaking Minds is out there for everybody to see. Now, there's some people who are going to like what I see, and there's some people who aren't going to like what I see. Well, if I go on Skype, this is an autonomous freaking area where if people want to be in my group, they can be in my group, and if they don't want to be in my group, they don't have to. And it goes with me too. I can allow people in and allow people not to be in. And Discord is the same thing. So you're getting real people in that freaking area instead of freaking statistics, algorithms.
Minds and other social media platforms can allow you to do that. As an example, Minds allows for LinkedIn users to be able to view your posts, or you could make those posts invisible, or you could create private groups.
There's no guarantees. I mean, there's literally no
There's no
guarantees.
guarantees of anything.
That's my. I
There's
mean,
never guarantees for anything.
in the whole situation, I have to choose between what I think is the smartest thing to do and not the smartest thing. That's why I walked away from Facebook. You know what I mean? I don't want people stealing freaking shit left and right. And
Ah,
you know,
it's not stealing,
I know.
because stealing means removing property from you without your consent to stop you use accessing that. If you still got the content, therefore it's not stealing.
Well,
And B, if you've agreed to it in a terms of service, in a contractual agreement, then it's not stealing because you've agreed to it.
yeah, I know. I still like to call it stealing, though. I'm hip like that. I'm cool,
Okay.
you know.
Incorrect use of them.
You know, I mean, like with all of that, that's kind of what a lot of this actually has been really relative, you know, because like today, Angel was on Discord and he was talking smack about freaking copyright and stuff like that, you know what I mean? And before I had mentioned something to him, and he took the whole freaking thing that I said out of context. Like everything I said that was important to listen to, he didn't hear. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And he like, first of all, the reason why I left Facebook. The reason why I left Facebook is because when you go on Facebook and you're a content creator, what happens is, say you don't have music, okay? Facebook supplies free music for you to use that's supposed to be freaking not it's supposed to be open source, or not open source, it's supposed to be content. Yeah, it's supposed to be free music that it isn't copyright. Yeah, it's not copyright infringement. And they have an entire library that you can choose this music from. Well, I would go in there, and at first, I don't do this anymore. I haven't done it in a while. I make my own shit, just to make that clear. But at one time when I was on Facebook, I would go in there and I would use their music. And it would be on their freaking music freaking library. And it would be free for you to use. And I would take that music and I would put it on my videos after I created my videos. I would do that, and then freaking a year, 2 years down the line, all of a sudden, I'm getting a freaking copyright infringement notice on the same song that I freaking got from freaking Facebook's audio library. But see, this is what I was explaining to him, and he got it all out of context. He thought I was just going out and using somebody's music and putting it on mine, and then I had a problem with it. You know what I mean? That's why he heard. And I know you've heard me say this a few times. I've said this multiple times to different people, but that's what my argument was, you know, and that's what they do, you know. And then like with video games, Okay, video games play freaking a scam too, where and the reason why I believe they do that for is because they hit you up with copyright infringement, but then they allow you to use their music as long as they make a freaking profit off of it. So you can't monetize it, but they make money off of your videos. You know what I mean? And I caught on to that because not only do I make my own content, but I also freaking do freaking gaming. I do game streams. And here's where freaking he had another issue. He honestly thought that I was like taking music and putting it on my games. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know where he came up with that unless he never did gaming videos. You know, but games come with music on it when you freaking buy the game and you put it on there on your computer. It could be through Steam or if you go to the store or whatever, but they all come with music. Now you take and you get that game, and freaking the game has music on it, and you stream this freaking music over freaking YouTube and Facebook, and bam, you get copyright infringement because even though you had nothing to do with this freaking music on this freaking game that freaking you paid
Yeah.
for. Yeah.
What about YouTube?
Yeah, YouTube especially. They're big on that
They
too.
also thank you.
You know?
That sounds like something that their algorithm should adjust.
Yeah,
That seems like fair use, right?
right.
Yeah.
It's a big issue.
Be careful when you, be careful when you put videos because if you just stream it.
What about those? Oh, I see. Is that why? Is that why those game streamers they don't actually turn on the music?
Right.
They don't turn on the sound.
That's what I had to do. I eventually
Yeah.
what I had to do is literally just turn the audio off on it. Now if they freaking run around and they freaking fight, you want to hear the sword fights, that's cool. But
Yeah. You can turn up music and still leave the sound on, right?
Right.
The sound effect on. Yeah.
okay.
Well, if I think that makes sense. I mean, if they're going to be fussy about using music, the game developer will need to provide the option to turn up.
Yeah.
Every game has that, right?
Yes. And that's
Good. Yeah.
that's what I had to learn how to do now because
Yeah.
if you turn around and you put them freaking games on there with the music on, you're going to get hit with a copyright infringement, and they do that shit on purpose.
Oh, thank you.
You know, they do that shit.
Actually, I could see a legal argument around this. Is the music part of the entire package? When you're playing a game, is the music included within the entire package?
I don't know for sure. Now,
Yes, obviously it is. Therefore, if it's part of the entire package, and it comes down to one copyright sort of limitation. Therefore, if they say you can stream, if you can view or broadcast the gameplay in itself, and that's part of the package, then there shouldn't be any copyright issue.
and see,
They would have to either deny the entire claim that there's a copyright issue with the entire scene, the entire game itself, or allow for the person to be paid.
I personally feel as though that has been turned into a way for these musicians to freaking earn freaking income. Like, you've got these musicians who freaking purposely allow these games to put the freaking music on their video games, and then they turn around and they freaking hit streamers with copyright infringement, so that freaking they can do the same thing. Like, say you can
The big game developers, these once their contract's over, these musicians will not see another penny.
that's I mean, this is usually with games that are just out too, It's not
Yeah,
just like older ones.
but as a developer or as anybody that's been they big companies, you know, they agree for payment upon the contract.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as they keep on producing material, then they're getting paid. But as soon as the contract goes away, they don't get paid anything.
Right. And they should. I mean, you would think that the freaking game companies would buy the rights to the freaking music.
Yeah, yes, because it's part of the entire package, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like like the graphical.
And see, that comes back to what I'm saying. They're using it as a money gimmick so that freaking they can hit you up with copyright infringement after freaking you stream it on the video games, because automatically you'll get a freaking warning on YouTube and they'll say you can keep this video, but you can't be monetized with it. And then they turn around and they give freaking the monetization to the musicians who played the music.
No, they do not give they give it to the company that's overseeing the case.
Well, yeah, it would be UMG, United Music
Yeah,
Guild.
it would be or some lawyer, some legal firm like that. And then then that's the company will talk to the original game, the original people that created the original games. So the game is but as far as the lonely graphic artist or the lonely musicians concerned, the contract's over. They don't have to see a single penny into that project after again.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there he is.
Sorry, guys. Wait, were you not hearing me? Sorry. Just switch back to the Adobe stuff for a sec.
All right.
I want to ask Mark, have you had a chance to read their terms of service? Because I just had a quick look around, and it looks like it's a misunderstanding of the terms of service agreement that the users were.
See, and that's what I have a problem with.
This is what Adobe's person. No, it wasn't a misunderstanding. They did it previously.
They got caught with their hands in the cookie jar is what happened.
Yeah.
They
I've seen the PR sort of replies that they've done. The first one was absolutely terrible.
yeah, I knew you'd have a field day with this.
It was a load of nonsense market speech. That boiled down to nothing really.
And see, that's what I was thinking. I was like, it was just they were blowing smoke up people's ass trying to freaking play a game so that they could freaking go in and steal people's information. Like when they
Again,
don't want to say the word still, yeah, but
acquired.
I'm the hip cool dude that's gonna say still because that's just how we roll.
It sounds okay. So on the Adobe side, it sounds like they're trying to catch up to Apple, and they need to do this. They need this terms of service in place in order to do their AI stuff because they don't have a private cloud thing.
Remember, first Adobe was in first place. I think it's on the shelf software as a service, platform as a service, cloud strategy. They were willing to test the larger companies that did that. Sort of is reason ongoing subscription fees. That's when just a single cost of share one-time purchase.
Yeah, but Mark, this goes back to what I mentioned before, and I always forget to always bring this up because it's really important. It's about ethics. You know what I'm saying? Like, freaking, this really has to do with ethics more than anything else. Like, you can say because of what terms of service is that it's not stealing, but ethically, freaking, this is wrong. You know what I mean? They're going against ethics when they do stuff like this, and they constantly do this stuff all the time. They're unethical.
I argue quite the opposite. It's the issue of the user base. Adobe's Creative Cloud
I I
is
wonder if Google. I wonder if Google and Microsoft have been doing the same thing for years
yeah,
without without.
Microsoft has the you've been following the recall story. Microsoft recall
Yeah.
issue. Um, yeah, but users um, when it comes to big industrial software, such as Photoshop, such as Microsoft Windows, especially in the corporate side, and not just the executives and CTOs and CEOs can be quite conservative in reviews, and they will purchase the product that they know that works, that they know that these people don't change their opinions all that often. So if you've been using Microsoft Windows, if your company's been using Microsoft Windows for the last 30 years, you'll continue to use Microsoft Windows because your chief executive officer, your senior executive, don't know any difference. It's the same with the things like the signage industry or the more creative industries, because Adobe has had this long reputation of producing suitable software products for their marketplace,
Well, they've
and
been
they've
the
become an
standard.
industry standard.
Yeah, the
Yeah, they've
industry
become an
standard.
industry standard for the last what 30 years now. It's a lot longer, but yeah, for the 30
Well,
years.
it's
To use there's been this entire market being built up in believing that Adobe Photoshop is the industry standard for creative photos and stuff, advertisement materials.
I'm not hearing
Yeah,
Mark very
yeah.
well.
He's having issues. His mic's always he keeps
It sounds you sound muffled, Mark. You know what the problem is?
it's his
I can't do anything about that. You know,
it's his hair.
It's not gonna
He's
not gonna show up very badly on the recording.
I've been able to make out a lot of what he's been saying, but I've had to start
You
concentrating on it.
you might want to repeat. Sometimes repeat what Mark's saying.
Oh, there ain't no way of repeating that. He just said a mouthful. So, but what I get with all you're saying though, Mark, is yeah, I understand that it's become a standard. You know what I mean? And everybody does pretty much think of it that way. But I also know like there's alternatives to that too. Like
indeed.
you know, you don't have to freaking give in to the whole freaking quote standards. You know what I mean? It's not really cool what they're doing, and they
Yeah, that's creative standards allow for a unified tailoring policy. I mean, you don't want to go to a large organisation that's using some unknown piece of software with a very heavy learning curve, and then expect your regular employees to be able to use that software, at least not without any training. And of course, training equates to downtime for those employees because they're training and not doing their job, and a lack of profit because obviously, or money expenditure because obviously training, you've got to bring people in to be able to train these employees.
Yeah. Well, I
So
mean,
there's the cost issue there.
I think that's probably what needs to take place, though. I mean, to be honest with you, like,
Hmm.
everybody's coming up with this idea that freaking it's not professional if it's not Adobe kind of bullshit, and it's
Hmm.
not even Adobe freaking, you know, Adobe Prime is actually the one that they're freaking really pushing is the professional stuff. You know what I mean? Like, that's how bad it's gotten. And now, in order for you to freaking acquire Adobe Prime, it's gone from just paying a one-time price, which is expensive, of like $500 or $600 one time,
Hmm.
to having recurring bills where freaking they charge you over the freaking months of having it. And now all of a sudden they're coming out with these terms of services. Not only are you freaking paying for this every month, but we're gonna freaking go in with our AI and we're gonna snoop on your shit and we're gonna use it to freaking help our AI supposedly learn. You know what I mean?
Do you use
Yeah.
Adobe, Roger?
No, I don't support Adobe. I think that it's a freaking they're a bunch of thieves.
In, in,
Okay.
interesting.
What do you use as an alternative?
I use Blender, which Adobe does
Oh,
freaking donate. Don't get me wrong, they do donate to
Yeah.
Blender, but
uh-huh.
they're still open source and they're free.
Yep. Is it comparable to Adobe?
I think it is. I hear a lot of people give it a bunch of shit talk saying that Adobe is just so much better and you need After Effects and all this other shit. But I've
Uh-huh.
had no complaints with Blender whatsoever. It's gotten nothing but better and better every time I've had to use it. Now, I'm not going to say you can use it on a regular computer, like just a regular 2-core freaking CPU, no GPU, this
Right.
store bought computer. Basically you're not going to be able to use Blender on that, but you can't use Adobe Prime on those either.
Does Blender have any AI plugin?
Not yet, but I'm sure it's going to happen when it comes to
But
open
can
source.
can we talk about what you call AI?
You started them up on it.
Um, going back to the industry standard thing, I do speak to quite a few secretaries, administrators, general administrators quite often. And there's this idea that for long term that Microsoft Word, Microsoft Office is the industry standard. Um, and pushing, yeah, certain people to things like LibreOffice and OpenOffice. I get to hear this sort of all the time. Recognise that for, let's say, if you use Microsoft Word and LibreOffice, there are differences between the two packages, but there's a level of additional training that generally needs to
Yeah, but
be. I,
I posted links up for you concerning Libra as well. Okay, and that goes to the same extent of what I'm saying with this example. Okay, Adobe's been notorious for this shit. Like, sure, this is an open source freaking blah blah blah. You can use it, and then the people go in and they use freaking their code and they freaking do what they want to with their browsers and stuff. And all the time, Adobe's sitting in the background and they're freaking stealing their freaking shit.
again, it is not stealing.
Yeah, I know.
You were talking about Adobe using open source uh, products for their own. usage and not allowing lots of people to access that. But when again, I remind you that when you're talking about open source, open source doesn't necessarily mean that all those products are available for everybody to reuse and view code and edit code. It's dependent on the specific license agreements.
But you
Open source is different
you read
generalization.
what you heard what I just read too. Like they stalk these freaking open source freaking agreements, and when the freaking agreements run out and they're not freaking renewed, Adobe jumps in and grabs them.
I don't think there is actually any time. There's a limit on let's say a GPO license agreement with less. At least there's not been any court cases.
Well, I could pull it back up if you want me to, and reread that area if you want to hear it. But I mean that's what they said. It's freaking they literally go in and they freaking look for open source freaking agreements that run out.
No, no, you aren't talking about that one.
Yeah, it's right here. It's like Firefly generative AI models are trained on a dataset of licensed content, such as Adobe stock and public domain content where copyright has expired. So they're
copyright, yeah. You
expired copyright.
Yeah, that's not copyright.
So they're hound dogs. They're predators. They're hunting down the freaking copyrights that expire so they can swoop down and take credit for it and sue you if you try to use it.
Also, open source licenses such as the BSD, MIT, Apache licenses allow for proprietary code to be added to the code base, the source code of the project, and it also allows for this for any additional code not to be
You're gonna have to
not necessarily be available to the public.
you're gonna have to adjust your hair again.
So, unlike GPO license, where any modifications should be republished. So, scrutiny and research. Licenses such as BSD, additional code can be added to the project, and the additional code doesn't necessarily have to be made available.
That would have made sense if I could hear what you said. You were like breaking up quite a bit, so
Okay.
that
This is a pain.
yeah, no, it's
I think I think using expired copyright material is
yeah,
legit.
yeah. They're going in.
And
That's what they said. They're going in and they're using expired copyright material in order to allow their AI to learn. And my whole point
Yeah.
is, like, they've been doing this shit for years. It's not just with their AI. Dude.
Right.
They've been going in and they've been snatching up old freaking outdated copyrights. And and then using that shit for their own stuff.
Isn't that what OpenAI does as well, though? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of these AI projects, GBT, has been criticised heavily for this recently about going onto third-party sites such as Wikipedia and just take it out. Mind you, Wikipedia is first on license plane, so it can be used. But going on other sites and taking that data, besides the well, as a violation of copyright aspect over.
You got anywhere else to go with that, Tan? It's
Uh,
I
I
like.
couldn't make. You wanna uh,
He
you
agrees
wanna
with you.
translate what he said?
he,
No,
he agrees with you. He's like, yes,
I couldn't make.
he,
Uh,
he, he,
oh,
he
he does. Oh,
yeah, he agrees with you. He's like, yes, they do. They go on to other websites. Like he used Wikipedia as an example, but he said it's not
mm,
really a good example because it's open source.
right.
well, yeah, there's a lot. It's not
But
being
they do that. They go and they pull information off of all these other places. So that's basically what he said in it.
The, yeah, yeah. These AI engines, they are data poor. They need data. They need data to work with. So if you starve the AI engine of data, it dies. So uh, so long as this, it sounds like they're using legitimate means of acquiring those data. If if they
But
God forbid, Google and Microsoft are doing the same thing Adobe is doing, and then no fuss about it. And um,
well, don't be fooled by it because they've been doing this
yeah,
stuff for years, man. Like even in the article I just read, they said they've been doing it for at least 10 years. You know what I mean? This was before
yeah,
AI
yeah.
was even popular, so they're going around snatching up these people's freaking copyright claims. It's not even their content, you know what I mean? It's other people's content that they just haven't gotten or renewed their copyrights on. So it's like that. That's the thing that really sticks out to me. It's like a bunch of.
Is this similar or not to how social like Facebook or Google Assistant is sharing search data with advertisers?
Most likely.
you have to be a bit more nuanced.
Yeah. So example, like I I mentioned before. What's this? What's that website that you search you search something, and then a day later you go up to that site and it suggests articles that matches exactly what you're searching for. Whew. What is that? What is that?
That's not really stealing, but confused. As long as it's agreed to that in the terms of service of that side, and this is where the
Hello?
EU law comes into
You're,
play.
Can you guys still hear me?
yeah, I can hear
Yeah,
you. It's just Mark is kind of
I'm going.
choppy right now. So
I'm going low on battery, so my phone might die in a minute now. Sorry,
well,
guys. I got 3%.
let me
So
bring this to an end though. I didn't realize how long it was. We've already made it to like an hour and 8 minutes, and we can come back and talk about this too because I think it's some pretty good stuff. Maybe we can have Mark's headphones straightened out next time because
yeah,
he's
yeah.
this is his playground. This is what he really needs to.
Well, Mr. Robot is the one who shared the thing. Maybe he can.
If
He can.
he's
This is an all tech. So this is an all tech car show. So make
yeah
sure he doesn't,
doesn't get
blurt
carried
out
away.
anything controversial.
Mr. Robot's latest content is only a reflection of what we were talking about on the night.
Okay.
If you go back into the general, and go back to the Sunday before last, I made quite a few comments on that.
Yeah, you two both had a pretty good fight. You had a nerd fight. I saw that. I was impressed. You did good. Robot didn't know what to say. He ran away like a baby. He vanished like a ninja. Like he always does. He just vanishes. Like when he has nothing to say, he just shuts up. And that's it.
He ran away like a chihuahua.
Yeah, like a chihuahua. That was what he did. So maybe we can get him on here and he can have a serious conversation with us about it. Though I do agree with you. I think he would be really important in a conversation like this too, because he's the one who started it. It's his fault.
Yep.
Something to sort out.
Now he's obligated to do it.
Something for you to sort out for next Tuesday.
Well, let's end this because I'm not sure. I think we may have an interview coming up with Mike about audio and radio and stuff. I'm not quite sure if he's going to show up or not, but I think we scheduled it today after the show. So Mike Wojciechowski.
Mark.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you're on, share the stream on the chat room. If I come back home in time, I might.
Okay. So, let's go ahead and end this, and we'll be back here later on. Hopefully, I hope everybody enjoyed watching the stream. Thank you, Tan, and thank you, Mark, for another great episode. And with that, I will go ahead and just end it.
Thank you.